Hey y'all, welcome to the Jen and Tony show. I'm Tony, this is Jen. Don't forget to go like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's Jen with the and sign, and Tony, Jen and Tony. And we got trying to get our subscribers up like we always say. So y'all definitely all our videos are posted on YouTube after we get through with them. Most of them anyway. We don't put I haven't got most of them up there anyway. But today we did downgrade, and that's gonna come out in different ways. So we didn't want to offend nobody, so we basically did downgrade. Is it okay to downgrade?
Downgrade your life, not your relationships. Not people.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
You can put people in there, but our original intention was about downgrading your lifestyle.
Right, and so me, I'm a free world person, so whatever you got to go through to fix the situation, I'm down with. I support anything anybody do that's gonna fix their situation. That meaning, if you need to let go of that car and start over, with me, that'll be fine. If we need to let go of that house, sell, that's fine with me. These are my opinions. Y'all opinions is always valued. And it's just my personal opinion that it's okay to downgrade. I kind of wanted to touch on the credit deal. As far as like credit, those things can be fixed. You got 7 years, the number 7, which we're gonna say you got 7 years to replace that. These days you can get your credit back up to 800 probably in 1 year. So it's okay to downgrade if that's what you need to do to get yourself back upgraded. And we could have kind of did it that downgrade, upgrade,
Yep.
We could have did that, but this was a personal friend that I grew up with, and we talked today, and that person kind of going through some things based on money issues, based on downgrade and upgrade. Me, like I say, personally, I would let go everything, because it really doesn't mean anything to lose the valuable time with Jen and the kids over worrying about a bill collector calling my house or something like that. Remember, bill collector is you and me. That's a job, and after the end of the day, after that person have their particular shift, they go home. They not worried about you.
Once that clock hit 5 o'clock, they gone and don't know nothing about you and your problems.
Right, because you was a T-Mobile representative, so that's kind of in the field of it. So
thank you for calling T-Mobile. This is Jennifer.
She did her job, fake job, fake voice, but
How may I help you today?
The economy is getting to that point where it's gonna starting to affect a lot of people relationships. And to me personally, it's not worth it. If you got to downgrade, go ahead and downgrade. Do what you got to do so you can look at the future. Like I always say, you have to be able to see down the freeway what's ahead, even if it's a hill. That's what I always tell people. I always use that for myself too, which y'all already know. Our house burned down. It's been a long journey, but it's not a hard journey. It's not no days we sit up here and cry, right?
No.
We don't sit there and cry. I mean, we at the other lot right now, boondocking, but at the same time, we looked at it as a new time to grow and do better stuff. Everything was gone. I like to implement that. We had nothing, so every particular thing we had and that we gathered was burnt down when we didn't even come home. I often say when we came back.
Right, when we was on our way home. A friend of ours had called and said, "Where your wife at?" And, he was like, "She with me? Why?" And he was like, "Your house on fire." So at that point, it was just like, what? And we just sat quiet in the car for a good 10 minutes or so, and then the next thing I know, what happened?
Well,
we was like, let's go to your mama house.
Yeah, well, we had to make a decision on where we were gonna go, what we was gonna do, So go ahead and tell them a little bit, about what you think, your personal feelings on how it is either downgrade or not. And I'm gonna get these lights back, y'all.
All right. Y'all have to excuse us. We're in the process of moving to Corrigan, so we getting ready to go. We ready to go to our next destination in life, and that's part of our. Well, for us, I guess it would be an upgrade, but kind of like a downgrade because we had a house and everything, and now it's all gone. So, anyway, we in the car, and our friend called us, and they, where your wife? And we looking around, looking crazy, like, we in the truck. What's the problem? Your house is on fire. It was a dead silence for probably about a good 10-15 minutes. We needed to process house on fire. And the next question was, how much of the house is on fire? Like, you talking about just like a little room, right? And he was like, no, it's all the way down to the ground. So we didn't even want to see. The fire truck was still here, everything. So we just decided, you know what, we gonna go to your mama house and just process.
Right.
Just process.
That and
we didn't see the house for a whole month, right?
Yeah, we like just seen pictures. Somebody sent us a picture, and so my point is, and what Jennifer's saying is that even though you don't want to let go things, sometimes you could be forced to let go everything, like everything you ever owned, everything you worked, hours and weeks and months for. So that was why we wanted to do today, based on downgrading your life. Sometimes it has to be done because that battle out there is not as easy, regardless if you got a degree or what. It's not that easy to sustain some of the things, especially if you're not raised with, economically raised right.
Right.
Like another post I seen today was about the parents and having kids kids 16-year-old get a job. Should he start paying bills? Me personally, I believe that kid should come out that house with $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 before you let that child loose up into the world. Because as adults that's already been in the world, having houses and cars, my mama, let me jump a little bit, my mama had a job for years, and one day she came home crying and she said, I lost my job. And she still fought, don't get me wrong, because it was just her. But, sometimes you lose things for reason. A lot of people don't understand we have appointed angels out for us. And the time that we open our mouth up and say, hey, God help me, he'll send the angels to help you. But you think that it's going to be this, I hit the lottery or, other things like that. But it might be that they answering your call.
Right, like we always wanted a bigger property. But we probably never would have moved if the fire didn't happen.
Right.
So when you ask God for something, you really can't just tell him how to give it to
right.
you.
You can't justify.
Like, I want to win the lotto,
right.
Something like that. For us, he was like, y'all not going to move, so I'm going to move you for you.
Right. And don't get me wrong, where we going, we love it much better than where we sitting right now. Where we are is nice and fine. But for what we do, in a typical country life, we needed a little bit more space, chickens and all that stuff like that.
Right.
We needed a whole bunch more space. So understand when y'all calling out, because I like a lot of y'all posts. I enjoy it before I go to sleep. I enjoy watching everybody post. I really take my time.
Another thing before you go, we don't necessarily, when we talk about a house fire, it's not a, oh my God, I'm sorry to hear.
Yeah.
We're not sympathetic at all.
No, not at all.
We was actually laughing the first 2 weeks, making jokes about, well, we free now, because I'd rather laugh than cry. You gotta, I don't know how to explain it, because we did lose all our pictures and stuff.
But at the same time, they coming back. Other people have them. We growing from that. A lot of stuff is found. They stash with other people. We finding all those things like that.
And I was telling them, we kind of went through, it's kind of like a downgrade but an upgrade. It's a downgrade because we lost our house.
Right.
But
a lot of work,
y'all.
A lot of work.
Rebuild.
Right. We built it ourselves, me and Jennifer. A lot of work, a lot of money. Every penny we had dumping. Yep.
Yep.
Into it. And like I say, I feel like we growing now. You know, the family came and helped us and stuff like that. Let me get to some of these questions. Go ahead.
Sean said, I teach my kids to at least have $5,000 saved to survive for a few months just in case you lose your job, because you never know what's going to
Right.
happen.
And let me say something first. This is what we was taught about the egg nest. You know, like I might say at some period of time we don't have this, we don't have that, but we can't touch our egg nest. You have
Right.
to train yourself that egg nest,
It don't exist.
it don't exist.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we be going to the store getting what? Bread, 90-cent eggs, and you know, you'll be
Yep.
like, man, y'all, we eat good, don't get me wrong, but you know, it's just that egg nest, you cannot touch that egg nest. That's the first rule, not touching that egg nest. My son, Kendrick, he my oldest son, he's you know, now he got into the process. We were around there with him for a while, and he's getting into the process
Hey,
where
Earl.
well, he pays himself. You know, we built his house too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he lived around the corner, and so we helped him build his house because he asked. He was a young guy. He was motivated. He was ready to spend the money on what he wanted. You know, and he did it, and we wanted to do it first. We wanted to do it with him, and now that even though he don't have to pay a house note, he paid for the land, went to a tax protest, and not the tax protest, the tax court, and he won a couple of
Hold on a
lots.
second. Killer Man, we talking about downgrading your life. Is it okay to downgrade? As far as going from a big 2-story house to a 1-story house, as far as, just for a substantial amount of living for yourself.
Right, and you know, another thing real quick, Jennifer, you gotta understand, 10 years ago, almost 10 years ago, I was 40. So we're moving in 10 increments, meaning 10 years, that we're no longer that 30 and 20 no more. And you have to understand that things are going to be a little different. It's going to be other people out there that takes your positions. You know, some people hold their positions, but is it worth holding that position with your health and stuff like
Right,
that?
like some people I know, they break their neck for that good lifestyle, and they don't have no qualms about it. They'll tell you, I'm willing to work for what I want.
And I agree with that.
But
If you're willing.
sometimes I don't like it because I see the stress.
Mm-hmm.
The headaches, I can't go out with y'all because I got to work overtime type stuff like that. I don't like that part of it. If you're going to work that hard, you should at least be able to enjoy the fruits of your labor.
Right.
What's a big house if you're never there?
Right, in our opinion, and,
Right.
and also most of y'all, y'all know our brother. We did an interview with him. It's on, it's a Stave. It's on YouTube, and he had a lot of things, and that was one of the main reasons we did that interview, to show you someone who have a lot in their life. But let me point out that one thing that he said. He said that I missed all of the parties. I missed most of the party. I would have gave that up. It's on the interview. Stave said it for himself. Y'all know him as Slim Thug, but his name is Stave. He said it. I would have give up a lot to have those times with y'all. Go look at the interview, and it may not be valuable to a lot of other people. Your money may be of value. Hey, I'm cool with that. I don't disagree with nothing that you feel that's important to you, but I would like to me and Jennifer like to say, if you need to downgrade, do it.
Right?
You can come back up
can
later.
I say with him selling his house, a lot of people might have their own opinions. Anytime a famous person sell their house, it's automatically assumed they're going broke.
Right.
Stave is never there. We lived in Stave house longer than he had.
Right.
We
right.
there
sure
more
have.
than he is.
Yeah,
we
have.
clean the house.
Yeah.
We cook in the house.
Let's say that again. We lived
Right.
in my brother's house more than he have. Do he show up? Sure, he shows up. But we'll sit
he
at
come
the
in.
table.
What y'all cooking? Early
sit down,
in the morning,
talk,
late
and
at
bam,
night.
he gone because he got to continue to think
Right.
about other issues and other making whatever.
Right.
he
So
need
what
to
I'm saying is he downgrading his life not because he have to, but
Mhm.
because he's never there. He paying
Right.
for yard work and
Right.
the
Pool
pool
man.
guy. All
Yeah.
these people coming here to fix stuff. The AC. He not
Right.
even there to
So,
feel the
so
AC.
the house, just say it's like 4,000 square feet roughly, a little bit more probably, and he needs about 10,000 a month. Light bill 1,000 every month.
Right.
Light bill $1,000. So that's why we did that interview. It's not to be spilling Stave, information out there, but I just thought and he didn't mind us talking, you know, with us on the
Right,
interview.
but I'm sure he wouldn't appreciate, you know, people going around saying he going broke, which
Right.
is absolutely not true.
Yeah, that's not
And we
true.
there all the
Yeah.
time, so
Yeah.
we can vouch that.
Yeah, we definitely could do that. So, you know, I just don't, I don't like all the what is when a baby premature? I don't like the premature gray hair in people.
Right, and I think that's what's wrong with people when they do have to downgrade. It's like in their own way, it's kind of like their fame in their life is being threatened. Like,
Right.
ooh, she got rid of her
Right.
car. You know, she went and got an economy car.
Right.
You know, but that don't mean anything. You downsizing so you could upsize in a
Yeah.
different way. So you could have money to go on vacation. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like stuff like that.
Right. And you know, we always say that, you know, collect memories instead of collecting things. You know, when you start to collect things, you don't have a lot of space for the memories. That's more important. You can take them with you, but you can't take those
Right.
things. That's
Before
my
our
opinion.
house was burned down, we were more worried about the stuff that we had
Mhm.
than, like, half the stuff we hadn't even used it yet. We was talking about, man, when we finish painting the house, we gonna use the barbecue pit, the
Right.
big barbecue pit. Never got to.
Yeah, it burnt. You know, it's gone now. So, you know, that was money wasted. Really, time. Forget the money, because I ain't really a money person. I'm more time. Time
Right.
is valuable to me.
I would
more
have
than
rather
anything.
had the memories of cooking on the barbecue pit while we wait for finishing painting the house
Right.
instead of the other way around. We have no memories. It's just a burnt barbecue pit along with other stuff we had.
Right. So, you know, yeah. So, you know, it's just, you know, it's. Let's go ahead and answer the question.
Okay, Ron was telling Coco, baby, you need to downgrade your life since you tuned in.
They joke. And read
She
that
say,
right there.
Coco say, what are we gonna downgrade to? A cardboard box? We already live in an apartment. We are only going up from here, baby.
Right, and we agree with that. We definitely agree with that. If you can handle that, you know, and my friend, she basically said she was willing to do that. She said that she was willing to work her butt out for that. So she's giving up her life to have certain things that she
Right.
wants. And, you know, I respect that, you know. But, like I say, missing out on kids' life, you know, I'm not going to go into that story, but I'm a person that can honestly tell you those things on missing out on kids' life is more important. That's more important. You're going to hurt. You're going to hurt. It hurts when your kid leave the house. It hurts because it's a void that you got to feel some form of way.
Right,
Like,
and while you on that subject, I just want to say with Coco and Ron, that's all we do is look at y'all pictures. They do nothing but create memories. We
Right,
sit there and
right.
scroll through all the pictures. They always laughing, always
Mhm.
having fun. That's more important.
right, and if y'all can handle and sustain that type of life, you know, by all means do it. We're just saying for people that it's getting a little hard for, you know, don't struggle too hard. Go ahead, wipe the debt out, go for broke, come back up. You can't go. We telling you, from
Right?
losing
There's nowhere
everything.
else to go from
But
the bottom but up.
Right. So sometimes if you need to just wipe that away, go ahead and do that. That don't mean go sell your house just cause. But we talking about the struggle of it. You know, a lot of people say they wouldn't move to certain neighborhoods. You know, your castle is on the inside. It's definitely on the inside. If you don't bring the violence and other things that's in the neighborhood around you, it won't come into your house. You know, it's what you go out and get into is what you bring. And I'm telling you from the street
Right, because
life.
we lived in apartments, and
Yeah.
I hate apartments personally because I'm a country person.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with the apartments. I just like the space.
Go ahead, read the comments.
So Sean was saying, I will never live above my means because I love enjoying the fruits of my labor. I want to retire when I'm 50, so I'm okay with the way I live.
And that's all we saying. That's all we saying. If you comfortable working hard and saving at the same time, but you know, economics is not in school no more. You know, it left out a long time ago. You know, and we try our best to teach the kids what economics is.
Mm-hmm.
Put that egg nest up and do not touch it. Live like it's not there. Go ahead.
And Carissa Green said, I just moved this past March from a 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment to a 1-bedroom, 1-bath with my son to save extra money for a house next year.
Right, and that's smart. That's kind of like we saying. Say like if me and you was on housing, how will we utilize housing? Me
Man,
and you.
we would be stacking. You would have a job.
Right.
I would have a job. We would be stacking.
When we leave out, I
$20
guarantee you.
rent.
Yeah, 2,300, whatever. I guarantee you we'll be living out if we could deal with, that type of thing. Because we're not asking or telling anybody to go downgrade and get something you don't like. Man, that's
Yeah,
miserable.
my only complaint is I have no space for a garden. That
Right.
would be my thing to get on his nerves with. I can't make a garden in an apartment.
Yeah.
Ron said, Tony, you did the TVs. You did the TVs. We live in luxury. I'm saying downgrade as in Louis V and shoes and clothes.
Right.
She never wear tags still on a small. Oh, okay. In the.
Right. They joking. We know they joke.
Shoot.
But yeah,
I got tongue tied, y'all.
yeah, but that's cool, and that's kind of like what we saying, Ron. Like I say, if you can handle it, that's fine. If you're willing to put that time out there and dedicate extra off days and stuff like that.
Nabasha says she loves this topic.
I appreciate Nabash, and you willing to take that time out to sacrifice and get more, collateral to do the things that you do. Hey, go do it. By all means, do it. But just think about them kids are not coming back to 20. I mean, they're not coming back to 10, 11, 5 years old. They're not coming back for the people that do have kids.
Right. We in a downgrade ourselves as far as, like clothes and stuff like that. Like Tony is a polo person, straight polo person. And he all very neat with the Vans. I'm more of a dressy. Well, I don't want to say stiletto no more. I've been out of them so long. I don't think I could wear them too long now.
But you see what you ain't missing.
Right.
I see what I'm not missing.
I actually like the flat sandals not having my feet out. So we did downgrade our life because we had a certain look,
right.
especially doing music.
Yeah,
we had
it's
to look
okay.
a certain way.
And it's okay. Go ahead and do the question.
This is Katina Duplin. She said, but nowadays the cost of living has went up so much since our kids are getting older and we won't need all these bedrooms anymore. But the sad part is for what we paid for our home, most people is paying for rent in apartments or smaller.
Right, and I understand that part. That's not well, you got to think about a house brings maintenance. It brings other things. So that's what we were saying.
It might be more sufficient for an apartment,
right.
even if it's higher, because a house has to be taken care of.
And you got a maintenance man.
Roof leaks and
no cutting
yard needs to be cut, especially if you have HOA. You got a problem on your hand right then and there. As soon as your paint chip, they knock it on.
Yeah, and we do a lot of jobs like that where we see, and that's why we was speaking up on that like that. But a house do take a lot. Like a house, honestly, for me, working on houses, I would tell the customer, hey, this need to be done, da-da-da-da, but it seems like I'm trying to push work on it. But then here it goes, a couple of years later, those things then got, more damaged than what they are. If you're not in that attic like I'm in the attics, you don't see what I see. I can go into the internals and tell you, hey, this is going to come down sooner or later. Go ahead with the question.
All right. Now, Coco was replying to Ron. She said, I like what I like, though. I have a purse that I love just as much as my Louis V. And I guess Louis V. I'm sorry. I'm not too good on it.
And it came
from Target.
Right.
LV. That's LV then.
Yeah, and like we say, Coco, that's cool. We understand that those things are, if you doing extra things, cool. It's like, hey, Tony, Jennifer come and say, hey, Tony, I'm going to go work and do this, which, I want to buy.
Which I do that, though. Like, my thing may not be Louis Vuitton or whatever, but I like seeds, and they expensive. So I do extra things on the side that won't go in Tony's pocket, so I can go buy the seeds or whatever, because I have to get them through the mail. Or, maybe Tony likes to smoke his cigars, so he have to work extra money so he can smoke his cigars comfortably.
And provide, because I did stop smoking cigars, But I woke up one day, and let me explain this to you. This was pathetic. I woke up one day, I smoked cigars, and I thought about, when I woke up, ain't no thought about. Inside the vision was, my kid asked me, said, Daddy, I need some shoes. I said, I don't have the money. But in the vision, I calculated how many times I smoked a cigar, which is $1, or a little bit cheaper than $1. And I said, I'm taking out my baby's mouth. You feel what I'm saying? Like that, you know. And in an economics way, back then we had house phones, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now we got cell phones for kids. You know, you know it's higher. You know, the cost of living to maintain a family is much higher than it was back then. You know, and I have to shoot that out there. You know, I don't like when people say the old folk talk, but that's real. That's economics. You know.
Yeah.
So that's why we kind of jumped on the subject today. But just remember, you know, for the people that is God fearing, if you speak to God, He will assign your angels to hear. He will assign the angels to hear what your prayers is, let alone Him Himself. If He do it, the Creator, the Creator do it. Hold on, y'all. If the Creator do it Himself, you might not like that outcome.